go. Hey, all. This is Bob Wiggum with Remax Ultimate, and welcome to episode one of three parts. And we're going to review what you can expect in a home inspection. And I'm pretty sure everybody out there wants to know what a home inspection is like. And with us today is David Schaum with Win Home Inspections. Dave and I go back a while, and he's always been a good, reliable person for me. So how you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good, Bob. Thanks for the opportunity to be here to educate your clients. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, good, great. Okay, so can you kind of take a minute to introduce yourself a little more and what you're going to share with our audience today?
Sure, absolutely. So like you said, my name is Dave Schaum from Win Home Inspection here in the Dayton, Ohio area. I've been inspecting homes for about 5 years. I've done over 1,000 inspections, and I think I know pretty well the business, and I hope to be able to pass on a little bit of knowledge to, I guess it's going to be mostly home buyers out there that would be viewing this to hopefully help you get through this process as smoothly and as stress-free as possible.
Great, okay. Also, I want to thank you for your service. I believe you were in the Air Force, was it?
Yeah, nice try. No, I was in the Navy.
Oh, Navy, that's right, Navy.
Yeah.
We're both Navy guys.
You were in the Navy. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I won't take too much offense to that.
Okay, thank you very much for your service, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure. You too.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and give us an idea about what's out there today, and then what you're going to talk about today, and then go through it, and then we'll just keep going as far as we can.
Okay, sure. Sounds great. Well, I'd like to start out by just talking about, the first step in the process to the home inspection process is going to be finding a good home inspector. The best advice I have for how to get started there is tap into, your friends, people you trust. Your realtor is usually going to be a great resource for you that can provide some options for you to find a home inspector. Just like finding a contractor when you're trying to have some work done in your house, if you can find somebody you can trust, that's going to be gold. So I definitely recommend tapping into your friends and family and your realtor for some options there. Another thing you can do, if you want to just check a little bit more on the recommendations you have, or if you're just researching on your own, is to look for unbiased reviews online. So a lot of home inspection companies, they're going to post real flattering reviews on their website. They all sound great, but what you really want to find are unbiased reviews. And you can find those on places like Google and Yelp and Bing and Yahoo. There's a lot of services out there where people are posting reviews. And these are, these are from clients that have, found them online and posted those kinds of reviews. So I think those are usually going to be the most helpful and not be biased by the actual company that is putting up those reviews. So some questions to ask. Let's say you have a name or two of home inspectors who you want to check out. The first thing, kind of some basic things that you want to make sure that some basic criteria that they have. Firstly, ask them a little bit about their training and experience. I would also suggest you ask if they've ever been background checked. So that's a pretty simple process. And finally, you want to make sure that they're insured. Coincidentally, the state of Ohio is soon to enact some licensing requirements for home inspectors. And the state of Ohio is doing all these things for you already. So if the home inspection company is licensed, then they have met the state's training requirements. They are trained and experienced. They are required to get a background check, and they're required to have insurance. So if you just ask one question, are you licensed in the state, then that's gonna pretty much ensure that you're gonna have somebody who meets those basic criteria. Some other things to ask about. Of course, you're gonna ask about price and the services they provide. One tip about price, though, is that be careful about going for the cheapest home inspector. There are cheap companies out there. Gosh, they'll do a home inspection for $199 even, and that sounds a little scary to me. You really don't want to go with a cheap home inspector, but you do want to pay a fair price, a competitive price, and you'll see. I think on average, now I don't, when you get to really large or really old homes, then those inspections are going to be more expensive. but on average, you should see home inspections range from somewhere between $300 to $400. Again, it's going to go up if it's a larger or older home, but it should be somewhere in that range. If it's significantly cheaper than that, that actually might be a red flag. Some other important things to ask about is how quickly they will turn around their report. Hopefully, sometimes it's same day. I would hope it would be at least within a day or two. If they're not giving you the report for several days, then that starts to put you and your realtor in a bind in terms of getting through the findings of the report and some follow-up things that are often going to be needed. So you do want a fairly quick turnaround of no more than a day or two. Some other things to ask about, what kind of ancillary or other inspections they provide. Of course, there is the main home inspection that you're going to need, but other inspections, probably the most common being a wood destroying insect inspection. That's often going to be needed by your lender. So you can ask them if they provide that service, or do the buyers have to find that on their own. Another one is radon in the Dayton area. Radon is very common in this area, so it's a common inspection to get added on. So those are, the main home inspection, the wood destroying insect inspection, and radon are your most common inspections to get. Others a little less common, but again, you can ask your inspector if they can provide these. But a chimney inspection, sewer line scopes. If you're out in the country and you have a well, you might want water quality testing or well flow testing. Also things like septic testing, mold and infrared. These are all other kinds of ancillary inspections that your home inspector might provide. And of course, you usually have to pay extra for these kinds of services. But you want to kind of check and see what all they can provide for you, so that you can assess your home and find somebody good that's going to do that for you. So that's it. I hope that's some good tips for you to finding a good home inspection. What else do you have for me, Bob?
Okay, just a quick comment. Are you still kind of like a one-stop shop for these things? You can coordinate other inspections, like set up a radon or a well inspection or the chimney or those kind of things?
Exactly.
Resources for that? Okay.
Yeah, so definitely. I try to make it easier on my clients. I think a lot of the home inspection companies are going to do this. They'll either do the inspections themselves. So for example, I am licensed to do both wood destroying insect inspections and radon. Okay. I'll perform well flow testing and water quality testing, but then some specialized inspections where you might need special equipment, like a sewer line scope. I don't do that, but I can contract it out, and I know people that can do that. Chimney inspections require a special camera, so I'm able to arrange all of these kinds of inspections if needed. And that makes it easier on my clients. So that's something you can ask a potential home inspector as well.
Okay, that's very interesting, David, and extremely informative. And I want to thank you very much for taking your time to share your knowledge with us. And I'm looking forward to next week's session. So are you going to be able to visit with us next week?
Yeah, definitely, Bob. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit in detail about what is included in the home inspection.
Oh, yeah.
What's not included, kind of like the scope of the inspection. So it's important to know what you're getting and what you're not getting, what things you can expect the inspector to see and not see. So that's an important thing for a buyer to understand.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to that one too. Okay, so David, how would somebody get in touch with you if they may have a question about something regarding home inspection?
Yeah, sure. My email address is dschalm@wini.com, and hopefully Bob will list it on the page. Yep. And then, or my number is 937-469-8528. Those would both be the easiest ways to find me. If you were to Google Win Home Inspection Kettering, then you'll see my reviews and also a link to book an inspection on my website. So those are all ways that you can get a hold of me to either ask me questions or to schedule something if you like.
Okay, great. Thanks again, David, for joining us today, and thank you all for joining us also. And this is Bob Wiggum with RE/MAX Ultimate signing off, and we'll see you next week. See you later, Dave.
My pleasure, Bob. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Okay.